example you were telling me about, Michael, that were found that looked like they had some kind of marking on it or something. Remember those little small steel balls?
Well, those are from South Africa. There's some miners there have found these very interesting round metallic objects. I call them metallic because they're made of hematite, which is a naturally occurring type of iron. And what's the most interesting feature of these objects is the parallel grooves that go around the center of each of them.
Yeah, each one of them has that groove.
Well, one groove or two or three or four, but most of them have several, and they're parallel, and they go all the way around. Now, some skeptics will say, well, it could be possible that these, round objects could have formed naturally, but then somebody took them out of the ground and made these grooves on them. But I've been to South Africa. I visited the chief mining engineer from the mine where these objects come from. He showed me like a solid block of rock, a solid block of stone, with many of these round hematite objects solidly embedded in the stone with the grooves. You can see the grooves on the part that extended out of the stone. Like, some of the round objects were kind of partially sticking out of the stone.
And how big were they, Mike?
But they're about 1 or 2 inches in diameter. They're different sizes. They're not big like basketballs or small.
But they're not little BBs.
No, they're not like little BBs either. They're medium sized, 1 or 2 inches in diameter. And the ones that were partially sticking out of the stone, they also had the grooves going all the way back around into the solid stone. So you can't say that, somebody just took these things and engraved these marks on them, but although those are very interesting, and to me they were very interesting because they're found in layers of solid rock about, 2 billion years old. To me, they're very interesting until somebody can come up with some convincing naturalistic explanation how those things could have formed naturally in the layers of the earth. I think we have to consider the possibility that they were made by someone with human-like intelligence. Now, people have had a lot of different theories, to explain them. Some explain them as maybe perhaps having been left by time travelers, and others propose some kind of extraterrestrial explanation. And I favor the idea that they were made by some kind of beings with human-like intelligence that were existing on Earth in this very ancient time. After another, this evidence for extreme human antiquity. And it added up to hundreds of cases. The 8 weeks of research turned into 8 months. The 8 months turned into 8 years because one case just led to another. And to me, that was the most astonishing thing. Not that there were 1 or 2 striking cases, but that there were literally hundreds of these cases that weren't being mentioned in the textbooks, although they are there in the original scientific literature.
There's a moon of Saturn that looks much like those